Hello everyone, my name is Kostya. Today we had the official release of Qwen 3.8 Max. We still don't have access to the API. As soon as it becomes available, I'll run other tests and maybe compare Qwen 3.8 Max with something else. Today our tests will be in the web interface. Let's take a look at the benchmarks right away, and the benchmarks are just incredible. So, Qwen 3.8 Max is comparing itself with the top models, GPT 5.6 Sol at the highest level of reasoning, Opus 4.8 Fable, and well, Gemini 3.1 Pro, which is already quite old. But compared to these neural networks, it shows just some incredible numbers in the benchmarks, even outperforming them in some cases. Not just in one metric, but we're mainly interested in SW Bench Pro, where it shows a level that's about, Opus 4.8. And its results are even better than those of GPT 5.6 Sol. These are, well, some truly outstanding results. Let's see what happens in practice. Let's talk about the tests we'll be running today. The tests haven't changed yet, but I will update them soon. You can leave your suggestions on how to test and which specific projects to use in the comments. So we'll have a low poly graphics character, then we'll have a 3D object in the form of an aquarium with fish. Next, we'll create a landing page, and at the end, we'll make a game. That will be the Google Chrome Dinosaur. Alright, let's get started with the tests. I'll copy this prompt for creating a character in low poly graphics. We've got thinking enabled, and we've got artifacts enabled. So let's get started. As soon as we have the result ready, I'll show it to you. Alright, the generation is complete. Let's see what we've got. And what we ended up with is this kind of mage. He has some issues with his beard. It's just that it's a bit, not in the right position. In other words, it should be a little lower. Let's try some magic. The magic is working for us. Overall, I like how the model is made. That is, it has polygons. The only thing is I can't really see the face, what's going on there. But the hat is great without any unnecessary details. Everything here is fine too. Let me turn it around so you can see it better. We even have a background with stars. There are also some crystals around the mage. When the magic happens, something spins here as well. But I decided that neural networks still need to be given some space. And now I'll write, well, I've already prepared a prompt that fixes all these bugs a bit so we can see how it handles corrections as well. I'm sending it. As soon as we have the corrected result, I'll show it to you again. So let's take a look at the result after the corrections. I'm clicking preview. It fixed the beard and mustache. So now it looks solid. Alright, let's try casting some magic. It also fixed the hands. Previously, their position was kind of awkward. Alright, let's cast. Wow, that's awesome. Right now, this is just an incredibly cool result. It even raises the hands. The staff looks super magical. It's shooting some kind of lightning, a beam of light that's shaking all over from the animation. Because, as I understand it, this is a storm, thunder, electrified beam, if you can call it that. So it's actually swaying. The animation it made is really cool. If you add more prompts to make it hold the staff in a different way, more familiar to us, I think the result would be even cooler. But I won't write any more additional prompts. I'm already satisfied with the current result. We even have some kind of shadow. These little crystals are spinning, decorating the whole scene. The mage himself looks really cool. And the magic, well, that's something else entirely, something unique that turned out. I think this is just an incredibly cool result. Really powerful. So, let's move on to the next prompt. This time, it's an aquarium. If it doesn't get it right the first time, we'll give it some corrections as well. Artifacts are enabled, thinking is enabled, sending it. And with the corrections, of course, Qwen 3.8 Max delivers just some truly amazing results. Well, the mage turned out, if not the best, then definitely one of the best. The aquarium generation is finished. Let's see what we got. Let's open it up right away. So, as you can see, our poor little fish are unfortunately missing their tails, and their delicate fins as well. Isn't that a problem with the glass? Yes, it's a problem with the glass. Oh, that's what it is. Unfortunately, the thick glass is currently blocking the clear view of several different parts of the fish. We need to fix all of this. So the prompt is ready. I'm sending it with corrections and improvements. As soon as everything is fixed, we'll take another look and check. So the corrections have been made. Let's look at the results. What do we see? First, he was supposed to add collisions, and second, a lamp so it would shine. We have distortion from the glass. Unfortunately, he didn't add the sand. I asked him to add sand, but oh well. About the fish. Well, the fish turned out beautiful, really cool. I think this is a top result. The only thing missing is the sand. In every other aspect, these are really decent fish. There are even distortions on the glass. The water shimmers, there are pebbles, there's grass. Well, the fish turned out super cool. So, what about the collisions? Do the collisions work or not? The fish shouldn't be running into each other, but I think they're not even trying to avoid it. I think they can only swim through each other's fins. So where are the bubbles? It seems like there are bubbles, but at the same time there aren't. Yeah, we're still having some issues with the glass. So we actually do have bubbles, but you can't see them. He still didn't completely fix it after all. Apparently, there's something wrong with the glass. Although you can see the small particles, the fins, everything is visible, but there's no sand. No, that's not right. Not like that. Well, overall, this is a cool result, one of the best. If we add some sand and fix this issue with the glass so that the bubbles are visible and the sand is there too, then the result would be absolutely amazing. So, next up in our tests is the landing. Let's see what it does with the landing. 3.8 max. Thinking is enabled, artifacts are enabled. Will the result be much better than the previous one? Because in the previous preview version, it made a rather mediocre landing. Let's see, maybe they've fixed this issue. So all the code is written. Let's see what we've got. Let's open it up. So far, this actually looks pretty good. Let's keep looking. Aha, and here we have a 3D object that will follow us. By the way, the result is quite decent so far. Hanoi, Hoi An, actually, I meant to say Halong Bay, the ancient town of Hoi An, and the beautiful city of Da Nang. And the fonts are nice, and the design, by the way, is actually really good too. The images chosen this time are really pleasant. All of this looks, well, superb. Saigon. Sapa. Man, everything looks great so far. The vibrant colors are shifting and changing dynamically. There are various detailed pictures, and some subtle micro-animations throughout the scene. So these are reviews. Only one image didn't load, but everything else looks really great, really well chosen. Name when we're gathering how many solo. Man, all of this looks really quite good. Alright. It looks like I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Well, I think he did a pretty decent job. That is, at a decent level. I wonder if we can check the responsiveness. No, unfortunately, that is not possible right now. Because we won't be able to check the responsiveness specifically since we're using the standard web-based version. However, we can manually narrow the window down like this and take a look at the layout this way to see how it reacts. No, even like this, everything still looks decent. So this is roughly a mobile phone, and we have this kind of switch here. Alright? Well, even on a mobile, everything looks good. Our 3D has changed a bit, meaning it's more simplified now. And overall, you can still view it like this. So he handled it amazingly well. And let's move on to the final test. This is a game. I hope you'll perform wonderfully here as well. We send it a prompt and wait for the result. So the generation is complete. Let's see what we got. We need to click to start the game. The game turned out a bit overexposed. Although there are distinct sounds, there are various cacti, and the surrounding rocks look perfectly fine. However, he didn't quite get the background right, specifically referring to the texture of the sand here. It's strange. Although there are mountains, let's say clouds, and even something resembling the sun, and the game itself works as long as you jump in time, there are even shadows under the dinosaur. While you can't really call it a top-tier result, it is still quite playable for most people. So it's pretty decent. There are even some snowmen made out of rocks over there. Of course, I won't leave the result as it is, and I'll send an additional prompt to fix all these shortcomings that we currently have. Let's see how it handles this task. So the corrections have been made. Let's take a look at the result we've got. It actually fixed a lot of different things, quite significantly. Let's expand all of this. The dinosaur looks fine, but the colors are still pretty dull. Although I can see that it did make some corrections. For example, it made the mountains better, and the sun looks better too. Overall, it's actually playable now. I mean, even the camera kind of shakes when you jump. The result is still much better than in the preview version 3.8. In my opinion, he ended up with a pretty decent game. I suggest we go through the projects once more and see what we've got in the end. Mac turned out just awesome, really mega. He's got the right eyes, the right nose, the beard, and the way he looks. All of that is great. The effects and the fish also turned out pretty cool, except that you can't see the bubbles. Everything else is awesome. And of course, the landing page. This time, the landing page turned out much cooler than in the preview version. That is, it's clear that the level has become higher, both in the selection of images, in the fonts, and in how everything works. In other words, nothing gets in the way of reading the text. Everything is cool. His game turned out, well, relatively well, but I think he can do much better. So, final conclusions. Really, the model has become stronger. The model does things well. It doesn't cost very much. So you can definitely use it for coding and even for some tasks in 3D graphics. Yes, you'll have to write additional prompts, but who gets everything perfect on the first try? Well, maybe only some latest opus like Fable GPT-5.sol, but even GPT-5.sol sometimes needs to be refined. And basically that's it. Well, Kimia might also do a pretty good job, but I think this model turned out to be really serious, really powerful. It can definitely be used for development. Share your opinion about Qwen 3.8 Max in the comments. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Telegram channel. See you soon. Bye.